Hello, all you fellow nerds out there, and welcome to this session of Nerd Week podcast. Be prepared for banters, ranters, spoilers, and ragers. There will be nerdgasms, nerd cures, and occasionally nerd shunning on at least one victim. Speaking of victims, I am your host, The Thing, and today we have...
Maya! The Dragon!
And let's get this started with this session of the podcast.
So,
Yay.
This week has been a weird week, hasn't it?
It's been
Amen!
Oh, man.
Dude! What is everybody on either vacation or have a stick up their butt this week? I swear.
Okay, so BYU, we are close to BYU
in Utah.
In Utah, okay? So if anybody wants to know, that's where we're at, all right? There is a week where everybody's homeless because every
I think I know where you're getting at.
Yeah, okay? So
Let me guess. The students don't plan out what's going on with school.
No, they do not.
No.
They get their classes figured out, and half of them are on waiting list because it's stupid BYU, and their smallest class is like 50 people.
Does the contracts expire for them, and they can't get their contract renewed, and so they're homeless?
So I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
All right. Here's the deal. Okay, this is what happens during the homeless week. Okay. All right. So if you didn't get your contract renewed, then
Before you took off for the summer
or anything like that, they pretty much kick you out and give your contract to somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay. So somebody else grabs your contract. Okay. You've got a move out date of the 17th. Okay, 17th or something like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
From the 17th all the way to the 20th, everybody's homeless. Everybody in Utah is homeless.
because nobody pays attention to the dates.
17th of July or
17th of August.
Ooh.
So this is
all the way
next
until the 20th. Okay?
2 weeks
You
from now.
had several people living with you because of that. They have to all move out. Okay?
I wouldn't say that's the reason. They have their own reasons, but none of them are, go to BYU or LDS. It's a different story for them.
It's not about being LDS. It's just about the fact that there's a contract that states your move out date is the 17th, and then your move in date is the 20th.
Yeah.
Oh, that's because they go in and they spend a week and they repair everything.
You know what I would do during that
things.
17th to the 20th? Is 4 days. I'd live in a hotel.
Yeah.
It would be that easy. Just live in a hotel for a little bit.
Well, that's the thing. You can't
motel.
You can't really live in a hotel or motel or anything like that. It kind of because everybody's living in hotels and motels, and people are living in couches, and some people are sleeping in cars. They've got all their stuff, and they're
just piled into a car because they literally have to move out for a week and then move back in.
Yep.
Which it's so ridiculous that they do this.
It's so weird.
And so I work just down the street from BYU in Provo, and getting there from Orem to South Provo is a nightmare when you go right by BYU. I swear, once school starts, every day there is a new accident. Because BYU drivers, the student drivers, are ridiculous they're stupid and nobody likes it.
I think this is going to be a rant episode, a major rant
Oh
episode.
my gosh.
It's a nerd rant beyond.
This is the nerd rager for right now.
Seriously.
I'm wondering if we're even going to talk about anything nerdy today.
We're going to talk about
We'll get to the nerdy stuff.
But this is just life in general, man.
Yeah.
Seriously, this pisses me off because, I wanted to renew my contract. Mm-hmm. Can't renew it. Okay? So they sat there and they already renewed it with somebody else before I even moved in.
Yep.
I was like, what? Somebody else has my contract and I didn't even have a say in it?
That's ridiculous.
Man. So...
it's still your contract legally.
Till that.
The question is what they're doing even legal. That's the question.
I've always wondered that, but...
Nobody likes BYU housing, but yet they do it because 3/4 of their student population is from out of state.
Another thing about BYU housing, and this is an actual real life story, okay? I've been living here for a while, but I go to UVU. I don't go to BYU. Mm-hmm. All right? And So I lived at a place called the Belmont. You know,
Okay.
really nice place. You know, it was spacious, it was big. You definitely had a good thing, but there were BYU rules to it, and BYU rules are just ridiculous. Oh my gosh.
They're worse than the junior high and high school rules. Let's just put it to that.
Okay. A curfew.
There is a curfew and
There's
a
a
dress
curfew.
code, and also, oh my, don't get me started.
Ooh, it's terrible. So this kid. Anyways, this kid's from out of state. Him and I were from California. Okay, we
Culture shock to the finest.
pretty much, and we're we're so super chill, me and him. Okay, and I would have girls come into my room, and they would sleep inside my room. No
No hanky panky.
promiscuity.
no promiscuity,
Yeah.
no hanky panky, nothing like that. It was just
No Han the cucumber.
Yeah, exactly.
Or in Galen's case, the pickle.
the pickle. Jeez.
He's all about the pickles.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, because he's a sourpuss.
Oh! High five. You gotta high five that.
We're having a little bit of rage issues with our friend the AI right now.
Among other people.
Among other people.
We've definitely had some pretty bad weeks.
It's been an interesting week for me so far, but
School,
Anyway.
especially since school starts in like 3 weeks.
I'm excited.
School, it's exciting to start school up again.
Back to school,
Yay.
learning.
But here's the thing. With UVU, and you haven't figured this out yet, trying to get your classes for UVU, the farther you get into it, and I'm a senior right now, it is terrible. It sucks so badly to get your classes.
I thought it would get easier the longer you go into it.
No!
Because with a senior, don't you get more priority
You
over
get
classes?
first pick.
Yeah. Shouldn't first pick be easier?
No, it's not.
Oh.
I have run. Well, and the other problem
You're
is
always on the wait list.
you're always on the wait list still. It's
Yeah.
well, and here's the problem. There are several in the art department. There are several classes that people, especially seniors, they just sign up for them and then they drop it like the second day of classes because they get into the class they need to. They use certain classes that some of us need to take as a holding place because you have to make sure that they're at 12
Yeah.
credits because you have to be at 12 credits to get like scholarships and
Which
all that
kind of
stuff.
reminds me, side note, earlier this year when I got done with the spring semester, my advisor, set me up on that track thing.
Which is, it's great.
Yeah, it's helpful.
The Wolverine track is
And
awesome.
It was suggested in there that I take this class called radio production. I'm like, oh, cool. I like to do that kind of stuff. Why not take the class? But there's a problem if I take that class, and the class starts at 4:30, which won't work for me because I have to be at work.
It
Anywhere
comes
around
to
that.
the point where you have to live off of student loans.
Yeah. Well, I can't right now. So.
It's gotten to that point. For me, I'm just like, you know what? Forget it. I'm just gonna live off of student loans and pay them off when I get my career. That's it.
But but the good note on that is there are things that have like student loan forgiveness.
Yeah.
There are those things out there with the government that they've done that, which is great. They look at how much you owe, and with mine, because my student loans have been so low,
Yeah.
and it's not a whole lot, that I could easily get off all my student loans without a problem.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the and some people do it, or even half of it, where they cut half of it in half, and you only have to pay a certain amount.
I'll have to call up my student loan.
You have to start paying
Company
your
then.
student loan.
Yeah, and you pay it off. but I
If
also
you
wanna see
don't
I can
pay,
come
if
up.
you don't start paying, trust me, I was there. I was there. It's not worth your time.
Yeah.
Well,
Trust me.
and the student loans that UVU goes through are really nice because they do it. You don't have any interest till the day you graduate.
Yep.
And the new student loan forgiveness program that the government has starts like the day you graduate. You can literally call them, say, this is how much I owe on student loans, and they'll look through all and see if what you qualify for. That's the cool part about it, is because you could literally not have to pay interest still on the student loans and almost not have to pay all that money.
Yeah, pretty
Well,
well.
That's the brilliant part about it.
That's right now the one debt that I am basically dealing with the longest.
Killing you.
Going to be dealing with the longest as of right now. Besides my auto payment.
That's just nature of the beast. School should not be this way.
It really shouldn't.
They shouldn't require you to have to pay the student loans back until after you graduate. Because graduate, have a job. That's it.
I agree. That's what needs to happen is you need to be, because students need to be able to pay for school, be able to go to school and focus on school and not have to worry about working 40 hours a week to make rent, to eat. For that.
To have a freaking car just to drive to school, They're like, oh, why don't
bus pass or
pass.
Some kind of like transportation, something. I mean, that's the problem is I'm lucky that I have my car just because of the circumstances of how I got my car. Considering the fact that I only paid $80 for it too.
Nice.
I got in a car accident, got a trade in, and only paid $80 to get my new car, which is great.
Pretty sweet.
But I've become a chauffeur for a lot of my classmates.
Yeah.
Because
makes sense.
I don't mind driving people around. I love driving. But people don't drive because they have to pay. They have to pay for school because, well, I know in-state tuition's like $3,000 and that's for 12 credits.
12 credits and books.
12 credits and books and class fees is about $3,000, which is ridiculous.
And they expect you to have that paid in 4 months?
Yes.
Well,
in the 6, no, it's more like 5 months.
5 months of classes?
Because, no. There's 16 weeks of classes, but it starts the month before. It starts weeks before class even starts.
I'm confused. I thought that you could go like your entire school time from when you start to when you graduate of not having to pay back those loans.
That's
However,
one loan, and then there's another loan that you have to pay.
No, there's only one loan that UVU does right now.
And you have to start paying everything back.
As soon as you graduate.
Should be as soon as you graduate. It shouldn't be anything sooner unless you have to stop going to school for any particular reason halfway through.
Yeah.
That's when you have to actually pay the loan at that time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you take a leave of absence from school, then you have to start paying back the loan.
Yeah.
You don't have to. That's the good thing of UVU's loan process is you get the money, but you're not required to pay anything on it till the day you graduate, unless you take a leave of absence. But I mean, student fees are just ridiculous to begin with.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I want to go back to the story that I was trying to tell because this is actually pretty.
Oh yeah, let's go back to that.
Oh yeah.
So I was. So anyways, I got my roommate. He's really cool. Okay, like really chill. Total surfer dude. Him and I got along. Okay. This other guy, I know he was a nerd. I know he was a Warcraft fanatic because this was back in the day when Warcraft was addictive.
Yeah.
Okay.
When it first came out, I remember those days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even South Park was in on it.
Yep.
Right?
He went inside his
jokes.
room. Didn't leave his room. Okay.
You never saw him.
Never saw him. Big fat guy. He would go in his room, come out, go to work, go in. I'd be like, "Hey, what's up, man?" Back inside his room. Okay?
I can think of 2 people that I've known in my life that do that.
Yeah.
They don't want to be rude, but they don't want to have a conversation.
They acknowledge that you have spoken to them.
Just spat all over yourself.
Yeah.
I know.
And so, like, he was just a weird guy all around, I appreciate that he's a nerd, but at the same time, I'm just like, man, have at least a little bit of social skills.
Yeah.
So, anyways, he goes to BYU. And, me and this other kid weren't going to BYU, we were just going to UVU. And I was smart about it. I knew about the rules. Every single time I had a girl over, she would go directly inside my room. But, quote unquote, you're not supposed to have girls inside your room, period, end of story. That didn't stop me because I'm like, I'm not going to BYU. Why the hell would I need to? Okay? Him, on the other hand, wasn't that smart. He was trying to play it safe because, he wanted to go to BYU.
Right.
He was just like, he wants to eventually go to the school. Mm-hmm. And so, anyways, he brought girls over. We would chat. We would hang out. It was just fabulous having him around.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he had a girl sleep over with him. It was a sleep over. It wasn't a freaking like sleep over. You know.
It actually like fell asleep. That wouldn't.
They were just chilling, watching a movie on the couch, and then they grabbed a blanket that was just right there
and passed out.
The roommate,
it happens.
My other roommate came in, looked, and saw them sitting right there in a blanket on the couch. I come out and I just see him. I'm just like, oh, okay.
It's like they're asleep. Don't bother.
Yeah, they're asleep. Don't
Courtesy.
bother him. Okay,
Yeah.
But I see his reaction because I'm sitting there trying to be quiet and everything like that,
be courteous,
trying to grab, breakfast and everything like that. And all of a sudden, you just see him. He's like about ready to go to work. He comes out of his room and turns back around. Just.
Really? He made that face?
Oh, he made that face.
Oh my god.
And I'm just like, oh. And then all of a sudden, like 10 minutes later, he comes out and just stomps out. You know, just totally stomps out. I'm like, oh boy. And so, anyways,
actually, with BYUs, that's not against the rules. To sleep over, it's against the rules.
To have any woman past 11 o'clock inside
the apartment.
Right. Male or female, doesn't matter.
But accidents happen, and
yeah, exactly. So
life happens. That's just that.
All of a sudden, drama starts taking place. He's on the board for getting kicked out of the apartment, and they're just like, "Okay, we're gonna kick you out." And he just got so sick of it. He's just like, "Man, I hate this place already." He was one of the chillest guys. Had girls over all the time, and
then all of a sudden he snaps.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, like he's just like, "Man, I hate this place. I'm going back to California. That's it." That's how bad it is. I saw this. I was a witness to it. I sat there. I'm just like, man, this place sucks.
Wow.
I got away with it. He didn't, because he was sleeping on a couch. If he was sleeping inside his bedroom with a girl, just chilling out, none of this would have happened. Nothing. But instead, he's in an obvious spot. He's trying to play it safe, quote unquote safe. And he gets in trouble for it and gets kicked out of Belmont. Totally terrible. Totally terrible. You know?
And this is why people are starting to avoid BYU housing.
Oh yeah, I'm one of them. As soon as I can, I'm over inside the Gateway. I'm gonna be having some fun there. You know? By the way, they may know where I'm at, but they'll never know the apartment. Because I don't even know.
You don't even know yet.
We can't do any spoilers on that right now.
Yeah, we can't
Not
do
yet.
any spoilers. I may be living in the Gateway across the street from UVU, but...
Well, at least you're living in the Gateway and not in the ghetto.
Exactly.
Honestly, you just go up the street from the Gateway and you get into ghetto Utah. Mm-hmm. Well, ghetto Orem specifically, but
we've all been having problems with apartments. Like right now, I'm going to be homeless for a little bit, and I've got to figure out where my stuff is. And that's it, you know. And we're moving out of the place that was really nice. That we did the podcast. Now we are
moving on to other pastures.
Better pastures.
Trying to figure out a place that can actually house the podcast.
Well,
you know?
I told you myself that I will be moving out of that house, and me and my girlfriend will be moving into a place.
And that place is just riddled with drama now.
But the place that I'll be moving into, well, no matter where I'll be living with her, like whether it's like here at this place she's at now or at a new place, she's okay with us doing the podcast in the living room.
Which is great.
Why don't you guys just grab a 1-bedroom apartment?
We're looking into it. We are hunting.
Good luck.
Just a 1-bedroom apartment, you two. You know, it could be $600 maybe.
That's the problem. That right there is the main problem that people are doing what they're doing. Like how you now have twice as many people as there should be in the house. Yeah. Is a single even with campus housing, a single room is $400 or $500.
Yep.
For a room. That is the main problem. Is students can't afford, which is why a lot of them either drop out or take a leave of absence.
I've been guilty
Right?
of that several times.
Well, that's why I was down at SUU first, and that's why I moved back up here, is because I couldn't get a job that I could, stay down there and pay rent. And because it's a tiny little place in the middle of nowhere, and you can't live.
Yeah.
You can't live unless you get unless you get a lot of
There's really only
loans.
2 people that can actually live as a student now. I finally realized it. Daddy pays,
Mommy and Daddy are paying.
mommy and daddy are paying, or they have to live off of student loans. That's just it. Okay? They can't actually live off of anything else. You can't be a student and work full time.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. One, your class schedule doesn't work because that one class will be in the time that you're working,
And it will be the death of you.
and it'll be the death of you. Or the second thing is that you're just sitting there and you're just like, I can't afford
Homework?
not living. And homework.
It's either homework or work. That's what a lot of it comes down to is, do I do my schoolwork or do I work?
I've had to drop out twice because
Of that situation.
of that situation. I had to make a choice between working and not being in debt by the time I get out.
Eat or
Study.
school.
And they're always sitting there.
This should not be the question. I'm sorry. This should not be the question.
That should not be a way a student should actually live. Okay, mommy and daddy are paying for whatever they are paying for. Okay, and then you have to sit there and come in and be like, mother, I can't afford this unless I have a full-time job. So you get a full-time job. Well, I can't study unless I'm working. Like, I'm working full-time and I don't have time to study. So what do? I'm just like, I finally just gave up. I'm just like, you know what? Screw this. I'm just going to take out student loans. I will pay for it later when I have my career.
Yep.
That's it.
Right?
You know?
You-
I've already failed like several different times having to make the choice between work and school. Work and school. You don't have any other choice. You have either work and you get food and you get your car and then you get your house, or school and then you lose all that and live inside a car. That's the only choice you got.
Well, and that's the other thing is, if you look at a normal student getting their associate's degree or their bachelor's, if you're getting your bachelor's, it's a 4-year plan. But that's the problem. Is it should be a 4-year plan. That's what it should be. But that 4-year plan becomes a 6-year plan.
Or an 8-year
Or an
plan.
8-year plan. Or for some people, it's a 10-year plan.
Right here.
It's a 10-year plan, and it should not be that way.
I'm a freaking prodigy. I should have been done with school years ago, but instead it's always been
It's
that
the money.
It's the money that kills you.
Yep.
It's not the schoolwork.
Money, right here. It's money.
What it is. That's the problem. And that's exactly what I did. I finally said, screw this. I have to get my degree. I cannot work in a movie theater or the fast food stuff. I have to have my degree, and I have to do what it was like for 3 years. Like, no, 4 years. 4 years of not doing theater. I just about died.
Yeah,
Not doing my thing. I literally lost my mind. I started, and then I just said, F this, go back to school, and life has been better.
You've been living off of student loans, or are you just
that's all, exactly. I have been living off of student loans, and I just told myself,
now
the money
you're-
will work itself out.
It will work itself out. You're not going to die when you sit there. My parents have made the case to me again and again and again. They can't pay for rent, okay? But they've always said, don't go into debt. Don't go into
You
debt.
can't in this society. There is
It's
no
impossible.
way that you cannot.
How did a freaking doctor become a doctor? He had to take out
He went
debt.
to school. He took out loans. and spent a good while paying those
How
off.
does a lawyer become a freaking lawyer, okay? One, either his spouse has to pay for the entire way through, but he still has to take a loan, regardless of circumstance. So,
But because of their wages that they make once you actually graduate and get into a firm or an office, you can pay back your loans like that.
Well,
and then you make money.
You know what's funny? My sister has a lawyer that's her husband, okay? Now, I don't like this sister at all. Like, I could seriously, like, stab her in the throat and not care.
You could care less what happened to her.
I don't hate anybody in this world. Like, literally everybody, to me, I understand them and they understand me, okay? I don't have any hatred. Even that girl today, I don't have any hatred for her, okay? I understand where she's coming from, okay? But the fact is that I actually hate my sister. She is the only person on this planet that I actually legitimately hate. Everyone else in this world, I could care less. You know, I'm just like, oh, okay. Like,
But it's the fact that it's your sister.
Mm-hmm. It's my sister. It's my sister that actually did it. So anyways, beyond that point, her husband is a lawyer, okay? They're making literally almost $1 million a year, and he still hasn't paid off his student loans.
Oh my gosh. Are you serious?
Like, he has like $200,000 in student loans, okay? $200,000.
You should be able to. I'm sorry, if you're making $1 million a year, your student loans should be paid off. You should be able to save your money correctly. Well, honestly, you shouldn't be able to spend money that fast.
I've never gotten it before.
Dude,
okay?
I kid you not, if I was making $50,000 a year, I would be fine. Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But most of us don't make more than, what, 15?
We're making
a year.
We're making roughly 15 to 20.
Yeah.
20. I'm making 25 right now, max. You know?
I'm only doing 12. But still, I mean, the average student, that's what they're living off of, is 12 a year. And
they're working full time too.
Yeah, and they're working full time.
That sucks.
Yeah. You're working full time. They're making that much because of stupid taxes. That's the problem right there.
I appreciate the whole grant system and everything like that. It's still not enough. Like, still not even close to enough, okay? Because even though the grants are paying for what, maybe $5,000 of what you have to owe.
I know with mine, I get like 5,000 something. And student fee with my tuition and everything, it's like 3,000 something. So I get roughly about 2,000 for the 4 months to try and live on. But for me, I end up spending $500 alone on school supplies and books, stupid textbooks that are $100 a piece. I mean, it's ridiculous of what you have to spend on school.
You have to be resourceful. I spent like $100 on books.
It's the science books. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's the science and math books that cost more than you cannot find them under $60.
I'm glad I know the internet, because I can sit there and actually be like, okay, which book is this? Who actually scanned it? And let's see if I can put it on my laptop.
Right?
Yeah.
I will sit there and I'll do that. Like, I literally will do that. If I get a scanner and I have to get a book and I can't find it on the internet, I literally will scan the entire book and put it on the internet and say, F you society, F you system.
Well, and here's the thing I don't get too, is there are some classes, I've been in a couple of science classes that they're like, you need to get this book, and then you never touch the book for 4 months. So you just, and then you could literally put it on your shelf, not even like open it from the wrapping, take it back, and they'll only give you like 1/10 of the price. And it's like, this book did not get used. That's the problem right there.
It's not used.
It is not. It has, even if it is a used book, the fact that you did not open it And it literally gathered dust for 4 months because you never used it in the class.
Grant,
There's so many teachers. There's so many classes that do that.
Grant, I know you. I know you
Sorry.
have your own personal rages against this, but you're being very
About
quiet.
the school?
About school stuff.
Just about school stuff. Come on.
School stuff hasn't really been taking me off. Not lately, and not while I was going to school. It's just that it was really hard for me to go to school and go to work, because basically I would take one class, because I was taking 2 classes during the spring semester, one class every day, and just doing those 2 classes would take up. I had to pay for tuition during the
your
spring
free
semester,
time.
and so one check would go to bills, and the other check would go to tuition payment. You know, so I would be essentially broke during one part of the month because of that. And no matter what I did, it sucked. I was basically broke. Like, no matter what I did, with trying not to spend money and with just not caring, I would just be broke and go into the negative.
You're just broke. That's just it.
Yeah.
You know.
So
While going to school, you're just going to be broke. You
can't live off of $8 an hour.
Yeah, you just got to learn to accept it. And I finally just said, you know what? F this. I'm going to live off of student loans, and I'm going to make the transfer because, like, okay, I'm very good with techie. We work at Vivint, okay? We're a call center.
All 3 of us are essentially technicians.
technicians.
The 3 of us are just the technicians in general.
I can easily get a job as a tech job, easily, no problem.
With a degree.
With a degree too, okay? Problem that I face is that I'm not doing what I love, which is film.
Yeah. I'm not doing what I love, which is music.
Which is music and sound, right?
Yeah.
So how do you get from this transition of what you love to
what you're doing? You're doing what you love.
Yeah, like the transition is so terrible, and so I'm just like, F this. Like, you've done it smart, Dragon. Like, you actually sat there and just said, you know what? I'm gonna start doing all these things to be able to help my career going.
Well, and it has worked out for me because I run the box office at the theater. I'm their lead. I'm their go-to person for, like, scenic questions and props. Like, that is my position, and, you know, and I'm getting there, and now I have the possibility of going and working at a school as a technical director, assistant technical director, or working.
The time has given you that.
The time and literally going, screw this, money will come, but right now I need to do what I need to do for me.
There you
I
go.
need to get my degree because with theater people,
time is the most essential thing you need. Like, you need time just to be able to do stuff. In order for me to actually edit these, I need 8 hours. I need a good 8 hours just to be able to edit these, you know?
But if you have to work some other job, you don't have the time to do. And that's the problem. And that's what society is becoming, is you have to have your degree in order to be able to do what you want to do. Or working at the school, doing as you work on your degree, you're working at school, which is something that I've been able to do, is be able to work in the shops, get paid. But I'm still doing. I literally live at the school during the school year.
Well, we've come to the conclusion right now. Like, this is my conclusion just for this, and then I want to move on to other things, other nerdy stuff. Okay.
Sounds good.
So this is my conclusion. Okay. Fact is that if you're going to school right now, this is all for all the people right now. If you're going to school, just take out loans, forget about it, get as many loans as you can, finish your stuff, finish it quick, and then get into your career. Okay?
FAFSA is fill out your FAFSA, and again, once you say screw it, money will figure itself out, and it does. The money will figure itself out for you. That's the thing. If you're willing to accept that money will figure out itself for you, everything will go according to plan, and you will get to where you want to be.
Do what you love. Forget about money. Do what you love. Okay?
Yep.
And that's
It will
what
follow.
will happen.
Well, and that's the one. This is what I wanted to get into with the nerd stuff. Is I hate it when you watch stuff like even Static Shock, for instance. He's a high school student, and he seems to have all this time to be able to do school, do everything. Everything works out, and yet he still fights crime. And it's like, how does that work?
Spider-Man was the most realistic.
That's what I was gonna say.
Right?
He was the most realistic out of any of them.
Was it 2 or 3 where he was a pizza delivery guy?
Yeah, he was.
I think it was 2. It was.
That was
it
so
2?
funny.
Yeah. Like,
So
he was
funny.
a pizza delivery guy, and he fought crime, and he went to school, but yet he was failing his classes. He was failing it. Like, he had no relationship and everything. I'm watching Spider-Man, like the 90s Spider-Man right now, and literally, like, I see it, and I'm just like, man, he's fighting crime a lot. And he's just like, I missed out on this date with Mary Jane. I missed out on a date with, what's her
With
name?
this person and this person.
Yeah.
I forgot to do this assignment. I mean, Spider-Man is very realistic to what we deal with right now.
Yeah, exactly. He knows what we're going through, and that's why everybody loves Spider-Man, is because he is
So
grounded
realistic.
in such reality, you know? Bruce Wayne, he was literally inherited his money. We can relate to him. The only reason we can relate to him is because it's like, okay, if we were in that exact situation and we had that money, we would definitely go do something about it, you know?
Yeah.
That's relatable. Superman, not so much. Like, how... What? We don't relate with Superman, not even in the
Nobody
Marvel
relates
series.
with Superman.
Nope.
People just like Superman because of his abilities and da-da-da-da-da, and he's cute.
Yeah.
As my friends, I love you dearly, but no.
You have to admit that he does have a rockin' body. Come on.
Okay, fine.
He
He basically is a rock, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
But-
Man, what a beefcake. Ugh. Yes.
And the little curly Q that he has on the
Yeah. Come on.
Superman. I don't understand it.
Here's the deal. Like, DC. I feel like DC is very like disconnected with reality, and Marvel's kind of connected with reality.
We've had this discussion before.
I don't think we have. Have we?
I don't know. I've
Have
had
we,
this.
Grant?
I don't know, man.
I've had
Come
this
on,
discussion
man.
before
You
where
have input on this.
where it's kind of both on either side. It depends on what you're looking at.
All right, let's look at the Flash really quick. He may have an established career and everything like that, and he goes out fighting crime. All right. To me, that's not like a reality.
His job would start suffering. That's the thing.
Yeah, he may be the fastest man on Earth, but the fact is that
It's the time.
Yeah.
It's the amount of time in a day. That's the problem with it.
He may be able to go out and just like, yeah, I'm here, you know.
But you forget stuff. Even the fastest man on Earth needs a checklist. he needs a to-do list.
Not only that, but recently in the latest season of The Flash, there he met this random girl at some bar, I think, and started dating her, but he had a hard time with dating her because he didn't have time. Mm-hmm. So that was realistic there.
There was realistic, definitely.
Yeah.
No, I will freely admit that.
Well, it's the same thing like with the Arrow with Oliver Queen. He lost his company because he was spending. He thought he had a good like thing of keep his company when they did that episode.
Yeah.
But because
I
he
actually
spent
did like that.
so much time, because he was the Arrow and he was trying to do what he did, he wasn't as prepared as he thought he was. Where Adam was like overly prepared.
Oh yeah, and he already had an established setup, and it's just like, okay, he spends time doing his company, but he also spends time doing the project that he was doing.
Working on the Atom suit.
Yeah, the Atom suit made perfect sense to me. He hardly sleeps. That's the type of guy. Batman, he hardly sleeps. You're just like, how does he run a company? He just hardly sleeps. Okay, Lucius takes care of most of the company, and
they have that relationship. That's the thing. Bruce may be like the face of the company, but he has his own.
Yeah.
He's a
celebrity.
He's established that agreement with him that he'll do what he needs to do to keep the company in the shape that he needs, that, do all of his stuff, but let him do like 90% of the what actually needs to happen with the company.
This is the way I see Batman's life being, okay?
And that's what makes him smart.
First part of the day, okay? First part of the day, he's sleeping, okay? Sleeps all the way until 3 o'clock in the evening time, okay?
Noon, between noon and 3.
I would say about 3, He hardly gets any sleep at about 3 o'clock, okay? Goes over to the company, talks to Lucius for a little bit, okay? Probably like an hour or 2.
Goes to the company meeting, the board meetings, does all that nonsense.
Yeah, just make sure that he makes a presence there. He's not there at 7 o'clock in the morning. Heck no.
He ain't there at the crack of dawn.
Heck no.
He's going to bed at the crack of dawn if he's lucky.
So then...
he's stitching himself up at the crack of dawn. And then he's going to bed.
All right. Then he goes out to the evening time events. Okay, making an appearance, making sure that he's there for
the parties, the foundations, all of that nonsense.
They all happen in the evening time. They hardly ever happen in the morning time. And he's there for mainly the parties, mainly the
cocktail parties, all of the things he has to be seen at.
Exactly.
And then he runs away and puts on the Batman suit. It actually does what he loves.
Yeah,
exactly. By roughly about 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock.
I'd say more midnight.
I wouldn't say
unless something happens earlier.
Yeah.
I would say roughly around 10 o'clock. It varies, but he's definitely at the party scene. He's definitely there trying to make an appearance.
Being the party boy that he has to be, that people think he is.
Exactly. And then he goes on and does crime at night.
Goes on his dates with Selena.
Exactly.
Does all that nonsense.
To me, that makes perfect sense, okay? Sleep is essential, all right? Sleep is absolutely essential.
And he's figured out the schedule that he needs to.
Yeah.
That's the way I see Batman's schedule. As for like Spider-Man, I still don't understand his schedule.
He doesn't have a schedule. That's the thing. Well, if you think about it, the night
he's fighting at night. He's fighting during the day. When does he sleep?
He takes cat naps. He sleeps during class. That's what he does. Yeah, he's in the back, just curled up, just looked down.
And they're like, Parker, nice to see you again. We're at the end of our class. Damn it. This is the end of class, mother.
Yeah.
And same thing with Superman. It's like, how does Superman keep his job? He keeps running away. Mm-hmm. And then that's about it.
How does he keep his job?
How does Superman keep his job when he seems to do absolutely nothing at his job?
What have you ever known a successful written story for Superman? It's always been Lois Lane writing this stuff, but nothing Clark Kent. Clark Kent not saying.
It's true.
If Clark Kent was something like a photographer or someone who follows one of their report, I could see his job working out for him.
I can understand Spider-Man even more because he's a photographer
by trade.
And so, in order to be able to actually be a photographer of Spider-Man, he has to be out on the move.
He has to be out in town. It's any photographer. That's their job. Is they may spend an hour or two actually in the building, but most of their day is out and about. Mm-hmm. They're the only reason they go into the actual news building is to
drop off the photos,
drop off footage, pick up a paycheck, scroll through them, maybe edit them, just look at the pictures and go, okay, here's my selection for you.
Makes perfect sense to me. That one makes perfect sense. Spider-Man is the most grounded one out of them all. And I still can't figure out when he sleeps. We know he sleeps.
Sometimes, right.
But he doesn't, but we don't know when he sleeps.
No, this is what he does. He creates a web.
Yes.
He sleeps upside down, and when his spidey senses his alarm. So if his spidey sense
he
goes
makes a
off,
web and he just sits there. And
he just sits there, naps. His spidey sense goes off, or he's got the little.
Spider sense going crazy. Am I in the middle of a dream or what?
Or he has the police scanner, right there next to him. So if there's a certain code, so it goes off and he wakes up, he's like, listens. Okay, is this important? No, it's not important. Goes off again.
Even the X-Men, that makes sense to me. Daredevil, not so much.
No.
Does he take a nap in the afternoon or something like that and then goes fight crime at night? Because he's a lawyer in the morning.
He's a lawyer. They're
lawyer
busy 24/7 already.
He's a lawyer. He has a firm. Does he nap in the afternoon? It's just like, oh, guys, I'm tired. I'm going to go home. I'm going to take a nap. So he naps in the afternoon and then goes fight crime at night.
I wonder if he
understood Daredevil's schedule, but it is a cool concept though.
Yeah.
You know what would be really cool is if they actually kind of clarified one thing. Who sleeps and who doesn't?
Who lives on caffeine? Who, if you were to poke them and take their blood, who?
Who I know who doesn't sleep for sure?
What?
Red Tornado.
Well, we already know that.
Yeah.
Red Tornado doesn't sleep. Yeah.
We already know Red Tornado doesn't sleep. That's kind of obvious.
So
I wonder about the Martians too. About.
I don't know.
Martian Manhunter?
Martian Manhunter.
And I don't think he
his
sleeps.
niece.
I don't think he sleeps either. And then his niece. I could see them maybe once a month taking a nap.
You know who I don't understand, and this should be the last thing, and then we gotta call it, but Wonder Woman, okay? What does she do?
My sister, I love you dearly. What is your obsession with Wonder Woman?
I love don't get me wrong, I love Wonder Woman, and I think Wonder Woman is fantastic, okay? Mm-hmm. She's definitely part of the Trinity, and she's definitely hot, okay? But what does she do for a living? Does she just go back to her island and just chill out there?
Because technically she is queen.
She is technically queen, but she's been kicked out several times. So
but she still remains queen.
Oh,
she's still of the royal. With the new comics that came out recently, she is queen.
Yeah, she is queen. Does she just fly back there and then just say, I'm going to sleep here?
Basically, I think that's what it was.
Because she was kicked out for several years. She was kicked out of that society for several years.
The Amazons.
Yeah. What did she do? How did she get food? Where did she sleep?
She bummed it off of Clark Kent.
She bummed off of Clark Kent.
She bummed off of Clark Kent and probably Aquaman.
I understand Aquaman. He goes back to Atlantis and chills out. Aquaman makes sense to me.
Aquaman makes sense, but
okay.
I could
Green Arrow makes sense. He's a rich boy and he fights crime at night and just like Batman.
Batman and Green Arrow, their schedules and their lives make sense.
Yeah.
Hers is
Supergirl still doesn't make sense. Okay, she's got a prominent job. Okay, she actually has a prominent job. From this time to this time, she is unavailable. Yeah. How is she fighting crime when she's completely unavailable during those times?
Well, it's the same thing. That's the thing, is Superman and Supergirl. Their schedules and the fact that how do they keep their jobs is the question.
Mm-hmm. And then Wonder Woman, does she have a job?
I don't think she does.
I don't think so.
Well,
it's never been clear. Maybe in the comic books it's been clear, this is what she does. But no, it's not a known fact. Yeah.
I would definitely say she's got her ring of lovers who buy her everything. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
Queen of the Amazons sitting there getting free dates just to go out and eat.
Well,
I
exactly.
can see that. I can actually see
because
that.
Because she's supposed to be this extremely attractive person.
Gorgeous woman, gets asked out all the time. And
that men would flaunt over, and they would buy her stuff. So I have no doubt that some dudes, several dudes have set her up with several apartments.
I'm going to announce it right now, okay? Diana sits there and pawns off of men. Right now. That's going to be in the comic books from this point on.
She pawns off men.
But you know, if you think about it, kind of technically, Superman is probably the biggest moocher out there because his home planet got blown up, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go live on Earth and just crash here because I don't have any other place to live." So.
Well, that's where he got sent to Earth, and that's kind of just that. But
all right, we've ran out of time. So
we are so done with time.
All right,
Superman's still useless. Well, I don't know how many times have we made that clear that we think Superman's useless.
I think we got the point across.
We got the point across, but we still love Superman.
Yeah.
Superman has his moments.
He has his awesome moments. But Batman has way better moments.
And I like Superboy more than Superman, just saying.
Who is Superboy?
Superboy and Young Justice.
Yeah,
I will agree.
Young Justice.
Because he's got that little robot and he's got Wolf.
Yeah.
And Wolf is awesome. It's just he's much more realistic.
Yeah.
We're not going to go on a rant. Come on.
Just watch Young Justice. You'll love him too.
Justice.
We need season 2 of Young Justice.
Leave a comment and subscribe and leave some love for us.
Love you, love.
Love.
We love you guys.
Troll us, we'll troll you back.
Especially me.
Especially that one.
I'm going to troll you back.
Leave comments, questions, concerns, emotional outbursts. We love them.
I am the Thing.
Dragon.
Let's do the song. Maya. All right, thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, nerds.
This is Sparta!
This is Nerd Week, bro.
This is Nerd Week. Not
This is
Sparta.
Sparta!
No, this is a knife. This is Nerd Week.
This is not a knife.
That is a short blade.
You're a short blade. Dragon.
Take that, dragon. I'll stab you with this. Thanks for watching, you guys. This week's Nerd Week podcast.
Please like and subscribe our videos and channels because we got more videos coming out.
Check out all of our old videos and check out everything that we've done before. We got our Twitter pages up right here.
Yay! On the bottom.
Instagram. Check us out on Instagram. We post up pictures all the time.
Yay!
Yay! By the way, this is Maya!
I'm the Thing.
I'm the dragon.
Maya. Maya!
A bibbidi bobbidi.
Maya!
It was actually loaded. I didn't even know that. That was great. Don't point it at your face.
Not cool. Maya!
You'll poke your eye out.
Maya!
Dragon!
Thing.
Maya!
Thing. All right. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye!